figure you're probably looking for tips on how to be a better parent. And the mere fact that you're here tells me that you're already a great one. But if you're anything like me, you believe in always improving yourself. So in this video, I'm sharing 15 simple positive parenting tips to help you level up your parenting and create a strong connection with your kids. One of the most important things you can do as a parent is just to be present, aka put the phone down, turn off the TV, and just engage with your child. Show them that they are the most important thing in your life and that you're interested in what they have to say. Unfortunately, our generation is constantly using electronic devices, and oftentimes we're more involved with those than we are with our kids, and we may not even realize it. Trust me, I'm totally guilty of this one, but I'm working on it. When I was a kindergarten teacher, I would do these surveys for Mother's Day and Father's Day, and I would ask the students the questions and then write their answers. And one of the questions was, what does your mommy like to do for fun? And I can't tell you the number of children that responded, lay on the couch and play on her phone. And that's something that just always really stuck with me. So just simply being fully present and focused on your kids definitely means more than you know, because whatever we're doing is making an impression on them at all times. Show your children affection in whatever way works for them, whether it's hugs, kisses, high fives. Letting your children know that they're loved can go a really long way in strengthening those family bonds and creating an atmosphere of trust and security. Nurturing physical touch promotes the development of young children's physiological systems that are involved in things like regulating emotions and stress responses. So a seemingly small physical gesture not only helps you connect and bond with your child, but it actually helps shape their brain too. Pretty cool. Next is to spend quality time with your kids. So this goes along with the idea of being present. And don't overthink this one. Sometimes the best quality time is spent doing something simple like baking cookies together in the kitchen, or playing a board game as a family, or just cuddling on the couch and talking or telling jokes. These little moments are the ones that create those lasting memories and bring your family closer together. Remember, the biggest gift you can give your child is your time and attention. And once that time is gone, we don't get it back, so use it wisely. Listening is key when it comes to parenting. When your children talk, make sure that you're actively listening so that they feel heard and valued and not dismissed or ignored. This will help foster an environment where communication is open and honest, which is essential for successful parenting. Have you ever been in a situation where you're doing something and your kid runs up to you all excited, trying to show you their newest Lego creation or something, and you don't even glance over and you just give a cool bud? Come on. I know I'm not the only one that's guilty of this. If you haven't already guessed, this is not a good example of active listening. Look your child in the eye, get on their level, and hear them. Rephrase what they say to let them know that you understand them. This will help them to feel seen and valued. As much as we want to put our kids first, self-care should also be a priority for parents. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you here. I used to think that self-care was basically a bunch of BS and more of like a luxury for parents. This absolutely could not be further from the truth. I cannot express the importance of taking time out for yourself. It is a necessity, not an option, if you really want to be your highest parenting self. So make sure that you take a few moments each day for yourself, whether it's reading a book, taking a hot bath, meditating. Taking care of yourself is essential for being able to take care of others too. In order to be an effective parent, it's important to understand child development and how different stages affect your child's behavior and emotional well-being. Reading books on child psychology, taking courses, or working with a parenting coach are some of the resources that can help equip you with valuable knowledge about your child's needs during different stages of life. If you are interested in working with a parenting coach and learning more about your child, then definitely check out the link in the description box to see how I can help. This is a big one. As a parent, mistakes are gonna happen, but it's really important that we acknowledge those mistakes when they do happen and make a repair with our child. Perfect example, just yesterday, I was making my boys banana pancakes for breakfast, and my 1-year-old saw the bananas on the counter and he starts running over to them, because naturally he wanted one. He was right by the stove as I was cooking. I obviously wanted to keep him safe, so I went to move him, and as he was flailing his little body in his banana-driven rage, my arm knocked the bowl of batter all over. It spilled all over the freshly cleaned stove, and I got it all over me. I screamed in frustration, and some adult language may have slipped out of my mouth. It definitely did. And I stomped over to my son's high chair to place him in it, and my little 3-year-old comes up to me and he says, "Mama, you look frustrated. Do you need a hug?" I felt my mama heart melt all over the floor, and that little boy snapped me out of my own banana rage. And of course I responded yes. I got down on his level, I hugged him, and I apologized for the way that I acted. And I explained that I didn't handle that situation the way that I should have. Admitting our mistakes allows us to learn from them while also teaching our kids how to handle mistakes with grace and understanding rather than with judgment and criticism. Your actions speak way louder than words. If you want your child to act a certain way, then you need to be acting the same way. Lead by example. If there are certain characteristics or behaviors that you want your child to emulate, then make sure you show them firsthand what those look like by being an example yourself. If you tell your child that they can't have screens at the dinner table, but then you're on your phone the whole time, that doesn't send the best message, so just keep that in mind. Okay, I'll admit it, this next one was a really tough habit for me to break, and it still is at times. Labeling your child has serious psychological implications, especially during childhood development stages. So try your best not to use labels when referring to your children. And this goes for positive or negative. You may think that telling your child that he or she is so smart can't possibly be harmful, but kids can take on labels as part of their identity, which can be detrimental to their self-esteem, their growth mindset, and can put undue pressure on them. So it's best to skip the labels whenever possible. Like I said, may take some practice. I cannot express the power of being playful with your child. I don't necessarily mean sitting down and playing with your child. I'm talking about adding fun into your everyday routines. This is also an amazing tool for avoiding those power struggles and getting your kids to listen. My older son Luke went through a stage when he was like 2 where he did not want to take a bath. A typical toddler battle that tends to pop up, but he was obsessed with all things cars at this point. So one night I asked him if he wanted to go to the car wash, which he loved. So we pretended that the bath was a car wash and he was the dark blue car, as he named himself. And we did all the different cycles, like the wash cycle and the rinse cycle. Putting his lotion on was his wax, and putting his pajamas on was his top coat. I don't know. I just made things up, but hey, it worked. And that's what I say, whatever works. All I know is that turning bath time into a car wash ended my bath struggles and made our time together way more fun. So get playful. Independence is really important to kids, especially once they hit that toddler phase. They want to do everything themselves. This is good. Encourage independence by allowing them space away from parental guidance, such as giving them age-appropriate responsibilities around the house. My 16-month-old just started putting his plate in the dishwasher after meals and cleaning up his messes. This will teach them self-reliance, which will really serve them well into adulthood. Also resist the urge to jump in and help them right away. I know it's hard to watch your kids struggle with something, but them figuring things out on their own is part of the process. And by all means, if they're verbally expressing that they need help or they're becoming physically distressed, then help them. But just try not to jump in before it's necessary. Allowing our kids a full range of emotions teaches them how to manage their feelings constructively instead of suppressing negative emotions, which may lead to unhealthy coping mechanisms later on in life. So try not to judge or shame their feelings, but rather guide and support them through tough times. For this, definitely check out my free emotion coaching guide, which will give you step-by-step instructions on how to do this, as well as scripts and phrases to use when helping kids with their emotions. I'll leave a link to that down in the description box below. No one is perfect. We all have things that set us off when it comes to parenting. Learn to understand what is triggering you emotionally and have a plan to practice better responses instead. Ever start freaking out when your child's freaking out and then they freak out more and then you're just in like one big freak out tornado? Yeah, I'm speaking from experience. Going along with that, our next tip is not to underestimate the power of the pause. Pausing instead of reacting when you're triggered will help diffuse the situation. The more you practice pausing in these moments instead of reacting, the calmer you'll be able to approach a situation and the more you'll be able to model that emotional regulation to your child. There's a quote by Dr. Wayne Dyer that says, "If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change." Pay attention to the thoughts you have about your parenting or children throughout the day. A lot of times we aren't even aware of them, but a thought repeated over and over and over turns into a belief. If you tend to think of things in a negative way, try and spin the narrative. So instead of something like, I have to give my kids a bath tonight, maybe switch it to, how lucky am I that I get to spend time with my kids while they play in the bath tonight? This is where playful parenting comes in handy too. That'll turn your mood around more than you think. It's really hard to be in a bad mood when you turn into the tickle monster and hear those little giggles. I know some of these concepts seem easier said than done. If you'd like to take a deeper dive or you need more support with any of these, then I highly recommend checking out my parenting coaching packages to see how I can help you be the parent that you've always wanted to be. Did you find these tips helpful? If so, let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to grab my free emotion coaching guide in the description box and subscribe before you go for more parenting tips. Parenting is so tough at times. Just remember, you're not alone. You're doing an amazing job and you are the best parent for your child. Thank you so much for watching and for taking the steps to be better for you and your child. I'll see you next time.